Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to the BU 365 Day Challenge. And our topic today is in the area of contribution. How do you contribute to creating heaven on earth or making this world heaven on earth? Our card today is this world is our heaven on earth. And I need a magnifying glass, which I do not have handy. Here we go. And the back says, in the new millennium of the Aquarian age, we are learning to go within to find our Savior. We are the power we are looking for. Each of us is totally linked with the universe and with life, which basically says it's up to each and every one of us to create the life we want, to create heaven on earth. So I started thinking about it and came up with a list of 10 different ways we can begin to create heaven on earth right now, meaning we can make the world a better place. We can make our lives better by doing these 10 things. You don't have to do all of them, but if you do one here and one there, I guarantee it will make your life better and life will feel more like heaven on earth. So how do we do this? Number one way is we can change. Bad stuff happens all the time, right? Good and bad. Stuff just happens in life. Coronavirus just happened in life. Now, we can get into conspiracy theories and how did it happen and why did it happen, yada, yada, yada. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because the fact is it happened and it changed the world forever. It changed most of our lives forever. And whether those were positive changes or negatives or a combination of both, in my case, it's because of how we chose to respond to that. And that's what this challenge is all about, is to teach us to be self-reliant, to be resilient, and to understand and believe and know 100% that we are in control of our life and how we choose to live it. So what are some ways that we can go about creating heaven on earth right now? Number one, choose to focus on yourself versus everybody else or anyone else, right? Choose to focus on, like you're doing in this challenge, becoming a better version of yourself all the time. Because when we do that, it doesn't really matter what other people are doing, right? It doesn't matter if other people are lying, cheating, stealing, creating, doing crimes, or making the world a better place, as long as we are making the world a better place and creating what it is that we want. In each situation, there are positives and negatives. Bad stuff happens, good stuff happens. It's up to us to decide. But if we choose, this is number two, to focus on the positive aspects of things and the lessons learned and the benefits of things that happen and how we can turn something that seems negative in the first place to a positive or a lesson learned or a benefit or an opportunity for us, we will be much happier. And when we're happier, we are creating heaven on earth. And when we're living and being, we'll get to that. When we're being ourselves, we just talked about that, we are setting the example for other people to be themselves as well. Number three, choose gratitude. The only way we get more of what we want in life is when we appreciate what we already have. If you want a new car or a bigger, better house or a better relationship or a relationship at all, you have to appreciate who you are, where you are, what you've got right now. And by appreciating that and knowing it's of value, you open yourself up to the possibility of more and better. Number four, choose to breathe deeply. It's amazing, and I catch myself doing this every once in a while. If I'm stressed out or worried or doubtful or fearful or having any negative emotions, I tend to breathe really shallowly, like in my throat or just in my nose and head. And unless we're breathing really deeply, we feel more stress, more tension. We need to oxygenate our entire body, all the cells in our body, and that requires deep breathing. So don't forget to breathe deeply. And breathing deeply, breathing reminds us of the abundance of the universe, right? Breathing, no matter how much and who we are and where we are in our life, air is free for the most of us, right? And we can just breathe deeply. And it's a reminder to me of abundance. Number five, choose silence. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Sometimes, maybe we didn't talk about it here, but in Supersize Your Business, sometimes it's better to not say anything. It's always better to listen than to be talking all the time, right? The way we learn about anyone or anything or any situation is by observing and listening, and then thinking for ourselves and determining what to do about it. Number six, choose how you want your day to go. You can actually map out and decide in advance that you're going to have a great day. And then, even if a few little things happen along the way, you spill your coffee, you're late for work, you make a mistake or something, you'll just roll right through those things and make sure that you have a good day. I start every day by intending I'm going to have an awesome day. And guess what? I would say 99% of the time, I have an awesome day. Number 7, choose to take responsibility rather than be a victim. It's time to let go of blame, blaming anyone or anything outside of us for anything. Even if we feel like it's their fault or something outside of us has negatively impacted us, we can take responsibility for putting ourselves in that situation in the first place, or for making the choices and having the experiences that led us to where that event happened. Doesn't mean we have to feel bad about it. It just means that if we take responsibility, we let ourselves learn the lesson or what we need to do differently in order to avoid that in the future. If we're blaming or passing the buck or acting like we had nothing to do with it, we won't learn, and then those type situations will keep coming up until we do realize what part we're playing in it, so we stop doing the things that cause it. Let's have a couple of examples of this. If you're speeding to work and you get a ticket because you don't want to be late, number 1, you're going to be later for work than if you hadn't been speeding. But number 2, if you blame the police officer and the law because you were speeding, guess what? You're going to speed again, and you're probably going to get another ticket, and you're probably going to be late for work another day because you're not taking responsibility for your part in that situation. It's our responsibility. Now, keep in mind, this is from a reformed speeder. I used to speed all the time, but I also knew that when I got pulled over, it was my fault because I was speeding, and I knew I was, and so I would just be like, sorry, officer, thank you, give me my ticket, and be on my way. But if you get all belligerent and mad and angry and try to blame the officer and tell him you're going to be late for work and make all kinds of excuses, basically, laws are in place to keep us as a race and people safe. So if we choose not to follow them, that is no one's responsibility but our own. So choose to take responsibility, even if other people are treating you badly, if you're being, picked on or bullied at work or teased at school. Don't be the victim. Take responsibility for allowing other people to victimize you, and then just push back and say no. And I'm oversimplifying this. I had experiences with bullies. My kids have had experiences with bullies, and it will continue until we stand up and we say, yeah, no, not going to tolerate this anymore. And then they go on, unfortunately, most of them, and find another victim, which makes it even worse. I had that experience in one of my corporate jobs where I had a sexual harasser, and I stood up to that person, and then they just picked another victim. And it was finally up to HR to do something about it, which I reported it, and it didn't get dealt with in the first place. Anyway, number 8. Choose to stop complaining. Ooh, it's a biggie for a lot of people, me included sometimes. I complain about my ankle. I complain about my knee. I complain about the weather. Not so much anymore, but we all as human beings have a tendency to point out things we don't like or things that are negative. Guess what that does to the energy around us, including our energy? Tanks it, right? It brings us down, and usually everyone around us who is in earshot of the complaining, or who can even feel the complaining and the bitching and moaning coming off of us, it messes up everybody's energy. So commit to yourself that whenever humanly possible, you are going to stop complaining about stuff. One of the things I kind of stopped complaining about is, and I stopped looking up, is the weather. Because guess what? I have zero control over the weather. I don't know how to create a weather machine, and if I did, I'm not even sure I would, because I think weather and the uncertainty of it is kind of exciting, right? We have to make decisions and choices on the fly based on what the weather is, not count on it. I always joke that weather forecasting and weather prediction is one of the only jobs on the planet you can be wrong 90% of the time and still have your job. Number 9, choose questions rather than being negative. Instead of just complaining or trashing other people's ideas or thoughts or comments or conversations, ask them questions to understand. Instead of spewing out your thoughts, opinions, and feelings about everything, ask someone else's questions so that you can understand where they're really coming from, to see if what you think you want to say really adds value or if it detracts from the relationship, the conversation, making the world a better place. Number 10, ask yourself the question, how can I create what I want? How can I create heaven on earth for myself and those I love and care about? So those are just 10 things that I thought of this morning, actually yesterday and last night, that can make the world a better place. And none of them cost anything but time and energy, right? And are choosing to deal with life and situations in a more positive way than a negative way. That doesn't cost us anything. That's free, right? And actually, the benefits are infinite. So today, our action item is to share one thing that you do, or if you're not doing any of these things, one thing that you will start doing today, like now, to make your life better. Because by making your life better, you're making the world a better place. And all of us, if we just do a little bit to make the world a better place, to be a little happier, to be a little more positive, take more responsibility, to think for ourselves, to find things that people are doing right and compliment them versus criticizing them, not compare ourselves to others, have gratitude and appreciate the things that are working out in our life, because there's always way more things working out in our life than are not working out in our life. Even in my lowest point in my entire life, when I thought everything was wrong and all the world was against me, I still had a gazillion things more positive that were going for me than were negative. And it isn't until we focus on those positive things and build on those that we create the life we want and heaven on earth. So love to know your take on this topic. Share in the comments below. Any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow for another contribution topic for this month for our BU 365 Day Challenge. Have a fantastic, awesome day.